Ministry mulls law against parents taking children to public places. Police cripple drug smuggling syndicate. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Carlos and welcome to Updates at Noon. Now, parents and guardians who insist on bringing their young children to public places without valid reasons are likely to face legal action. Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said the Ministry of Health, the MOH, and the National Security Council, MKN, will hold a discussion today on the implementation of enforcement against those stubborn parents. Currently, MOH and MKN are still using the soft approach by advising parents before taking any action against them.
Kementerian Kesihatan bersama dengan Majlis Keselamatan Negara akan menjalankan nasihat dulu. Jadi kita melaksanakan kaedah menggunakan nasihat. Tetapi sekarang ni kita akan berbincang bagaimana kita dapat menguatkuasakan, iaitu mengambil tindakan kepada ibu bapa yang membawa kanak-kanak ke tempat awam dan juga ke hospital tanpa ada appointment ataupun temu janji di hospital.
He said this during his daily press meet on COVID-19. Dr. Noor Hisham was responding to a reporter who had asked if the MOH would issue any directive regarding the actions of parents who took their children to public places during the Conditional Movement Control Order CMCO period. He also stressed that the level of compliance of the Standard Operating Procedure, the SOP, still needs to be improved, despite the number of new positive cases of COVID-19 infection during the 2 weeks of CMCO having maintained at double digits. Well, meanwhile, asked about the practice of visiting the graves during Eid al-Fitr, Dr. Noor Hisham said the Health Ministry advised the people to celebrate Eid al-Fitr this time by adjusting to the new norms. Now, saying that it is going to be different and the most unconventional way, he urged the people to celebrate at home in a closed-door fashion without receiving visitors and not to visit the graves as COVID-19 is still lurking around.
Jadi Kementerian Kesihatan bukan keluarkan dasar tetapi nasihat kepada individu dan keluarga supaya jangan amalkan kunjung-mengunjung dan pergi ziarah ke kubur pada tahun ni. Hanya tahun ni aja. Jadi kalau kita boleh patuh kepada nasihat Kementerian Kesihatan, kita boleh putuskan jangkitan COVID-19 di kalangan masyarakat kita. Sebab COVID-19 masih ada dalam komuniti. Jadi kalau kita terdedah, jadi mungkin kita akan membawa balik virus tersebut ke rumah dan kita menjangkiti mereka yang berisiko tinggi.
He also added that the Health Ministry will watch and monitor whether the Eid al-Fitr celebrations will result in the rise of COVID-19 cases in the country or not. Well, recovered COVID-19 patients who have been discharged from hospital should quarantine themselves at home for 14 days before they can receive guests at home. And Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said COVID-19 patients who have been discharged from the hospital were not encouraged to receive visitors when undergoing home quarantine.
Jadi pesakit yang telah sembuh contohnya bila mereka dikesan negatif, iaitu dimasukkan hospital lepas tu dikesan negatif dan kita akan discharge pesakit tersebut. Tetapi mereka perlu kuarantin untuk 14 hari di rumah, iaitu lepas discharge pada ward. Dan dalam tempoh 14 hari itu kalau boleh jangan ada pelawat jumpa pesakit tersebut.
Dr. Noor Hisham said this when asked if the recovered and discharged COVID-19 patients could receive guests during the Eid al-Fitr celebration. He said after the 14 days quarantine, COVID-19 patients could meet visitors by observing standard operating procedures or SOPs, namely social distancing, using face masks and washing hands. Well, more than 1,000 vehicles have been caught attempting unauthorized interstate travel daily for the past 2 days, and this clearly shows that many Malaysians are still stubbornly trying to balik kampung or return to their hometowns. Now, Senior Minister for Security, Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, during his daily press meet, said a total of 1,175 vehicles were caught attempting interstate travel on Sunday.
Yang menghairankan, ramai lagi yang nak balik kampung. Semalam, 1,175 kenderaan cuba merentas negeri dengan alasan yang sama, iaitu untuk balik ke kampung.
Dato Sri Ismail Sabri also urged the public to forget the plan for interstate travel, as it would have been very frustrating to be told to turn around. On 16 May, a total of 1,248 vehicles were caught attempting unauthorized interstate travel and ordered to turn around by the police. Well, police have crippled a drug smuggling syndicate with the seizure of 112.7 kilograms of various drugs worth 7.2 million ringgit, well, some of which in packets labeled as Chinese tea, in raids jointly conducted by a Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, the MMEA, between 9th and 14th of May. Now, Bukit Aman Narcotics Criminal Investigation Director Dato Ramli Din said 7 men, including 3 Indonesians, were aged between 24 and 44, were also arrested during the raids held in Negeri Sembilan, Melaka and Selangor. Following their arrests, he said police were led to a bushy area by the beach near Marina Bay, Port Dickson, where they found 7 gunny sacks containing various drugs, some packed as Chinese tea. The drugs included 80.87 kilograms of shabu, 31.88 kilograms of ecstasy pills, and 1 gram of ganja.
Di kawasan Teluk Kemang, tepi laut berhampiran dengan Marina Bay di Teluk Kemang. Dan kita percaya ini bukanlah kali pertama sindiket ini menjalankan kegiatan ini, dan siasatan lanjut sedang kita jalankan untuk mengetahui tentang modus operandi yang dijalankan oleh kumpulan ini, dan kita percaya juga bahawa mereka ini berhasrat untuk menghantar dadah-dadah ini ke negara jiran, disebabkan oleh harga di negara jiran ini merupakan lebih mahal 2 ke 3 kali ganda daripada harga di negara kita ini.
Dato Ramli said 3 of the suspects had previous records and 4 tested positive for meth, adding that all of them would be in remand until 21st May to facilitate investigations for drug trafficking. Well, Kelantan police seized various drugs, including shabu, Aramin 5 and yaba pills worth 458,167 ringgit, following the arrest of a man in Kampung Kota, Kubang Labu Tumpat. Well, Kelantan Deputy Police Chief SAC Abdullah Muhammad PR said the 47-year-old was arrested, and an initial check found he was carrying small packets of shabu weighing some 53.35 grams, as well as some yaba and Aramin 5 pills. Now, following the arrest, the man led the police team to a house in Kampung Kedemit, Tumpat, to show where the drugs were being stored, adding that a black plastic bag was found near a banana tree containing about 30,000 yaba pills. SAC Abdullah said the suspect, who works as an audio equipment installer, possessed 7 past criminal records, besides testing positive for methamphetamine during the arrest. The suspect is under remand until 23rd May for investigations under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, which carries the mandatory death penalty. 33 people from 8 families have been evacuated to 2 flood relief centers in Karian, Perak, following heavy rain yesterday. Well, a spokesman for the Malaysian Civil Defence Force, APM, in Karian said 23 people from 4 families were evacuated to the relief centre at Sekolah Kebangsaan SK Changkat Lobak, Bagan Serai, which was opened at 5 p.m. yesterday. Now, while the remaining 10 from 4 families from Parit Tiga, Kampung Alo Setango, Bagan Serai were evacuated at 10 p.m. yesterday to an evacuation centre at SK Haji Parit Aman. 2 other evacuation centres at the Mualim and Selamat districts were closed yesterday. no need to rush to renew driving licenses during MCO. Well, those motor vehicle license or MVL or driver's license had expired need not rush to the Road Transport Department or JPJ to renew them, as they were exempted from doing so under the Movement Control Order. JPJ Director General Dato Seri Shaharuddin Khalid said members of the public could still drive on the road with an expired license as long as they brought along a valid insurance cover note.
Enforcement terhadap APG ini pun memang kita berbincang bersama dengan pihak polis. Jadi kita tahu dan tidak akan diambil tindakan sebagainya. Dan kita akan bagi tahu tempoh sampai bila lah. Setakat ini kita memang tak enforce.
He said this to reporters after visiting the first day of the reopening of Selangor JPJ in Shah Alam yesterday. Dato Sri Shaharuddin said 82 JPJ officers have begun operating throughout the country, with 17 mobile officers also set up to facilitate over-the-counter transactions. JPJ targeted 5 million ringgit in revenue collection yesterday following the reopening of all its counters, which were closed since the Movement Control Order was enforced 2 months ago. Well, the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, reminded Muslims to adapt to the new normal practices when celebrating Aidilfitri this year. His Majesty said common practices such as visiting each other and shaking hands were not appropriate when the country was still facing the COVID-19 outbreak. In his Aidilfitri message issued through the Selangor Royal Office Facebook page, he reminded the people not to gather or organize open house, as it only allows for the emergence of a new cluster of COVID-19 infections. He also said that the people should avoid the balik kampung culture, especially involving interstate travel. At the same time, Sultan Sharafuddin also urged the people to avoid spreading slander and false news, as it would have a bad effect on the society. The Sultan of Kedah, Al-Aminul Karim Sultan Salahuddin Sultan Badlisha, and the Sultan of Kedah, Sultanah Maliha Tengku Arif, reminded the people in the state to adhere to the standard operating procedures, or SOPs, set for the Conditional Movement Control Order, CMCO, ahead of the Aidilfitri celebration. Well, according to a statement issued by the Office of the Sultan of Kedah, their Majesties urged the people to continue to focus on aspects of hygiene and personal safety, such as practicing social distancing when celebrating Aidilfitri. It said the Sultan and Sultanah understood the feelings and hardships of the people who have to celebrate Aidilfitri during the CMCO, as the COVID-19 outbreak is still not over. Now, for the people of Kedah who are outside the state, the Sultan and Sultanah expressed their sympathy for not being able to return to their hometowns, as well as to spend time with family members, and asked them to be patient for the benefit of all. And that's it from us this afternoon. In our top story, Ministry mulls law against parents taking children to public places. Well, News on 2 comes on at 7 this evening. I'm Amin Carlos. Thanks for watching. Take care.